After I became sick, I stopped cycling. And I didn't start again because I was concerned that the ambulance people wouldn't treat me if I had a crash. I stopped doing the thing that I love more than anything in the world because I was frightened. I was absolutely petrified that they would just leave me dying in a gutter. These words were recounted to me by Stephen, a gay man who was diagnosed with HIV in 1996. Upon his diagnosis, Stephen overheard that an appointment had been made for him at the morgue in 2 days' time. My study investigates the diverse ways homosexual men remember and convey their past experiences of living with HIV as a terminal illness at a time when gay men were labelled guilty victims and AIDS carriers. Representations of Australia's responses to the epidemic predominantly focus on activists who mobilise to provide support and education for positive people, and how gay men dealt with HIV in their private lives remains underexplored. My project questions what relevance this history of collective action holds for men's personal accounts of the epidemic across the 1980s and 1990s. I am conducting in-depth interviews with 25 gay men who were diagnosed with HIV before 1997 and unpacking their narratives to further understand how their own life stories align with or divert from the well-told activist response. So far, I've found that this history, which describes a community mobilising to fight the deadly disease, does not represent the experiences of the men I interviewed. While many of my participants also portray themselves challenging discrimination and developing their own health regimes in lieu of effective medication, they reflect on such actions as solo endeavours. Yet personal empowerment is only one part of these men's experiences, and many have endured poverty, grief, depression, and isolation because of HIV. While the interviews are centred on the men's pasts, it is their present personas that shape the way they remember and reflect on their lives. Many of the men return to discussions of grief and death numerous times throughout the interview and convey a sense of ongoing loneliness, having lost so many friends to the illness. Imagine living with HIV for 30 years in a society which some men believe has moved on. My project utilises the men's voices to further explore Australia's histories of HIV and AIDS and the impact this major global epidemic has on men whose experiences have been overlooked. Thank you.